guys, welcome back to Ghost Theory Crew. I'm the lead investigator, Jonathan Salazar, and today I thought, since I don't have many investigation videos on the back burner, mostly because I haven't been investigating, but what I want to do is I want to tell the story of the best piece of evidence I believe we've ever caught, because we have videos that have thousands of views on them, but for whatever reason, this piece of evidence is flown completely under the radar, and in my opinion, it's the best thing we as a crew have ever captured. And I wanted to tell the story, how I found it, and its legitimacy. So first things first, let's take a listen to this thing, because it's the most insane thing I've ever caught. It is 33 seconds long, and it is a conversation between two spirits, and it sounds like domestic disturbance. Take a listen. Now, this is a very compelling piece of evidence. Why on God's green earth has this flown under the radar on this channel? Of all things to have thousands of views, I believe this should be it. It's just incredible. It's the most incredible thing we've ever captured. So why is it that I feel like I need to make an entire video about this? Well, because there's no context to it other than a couple lines of text that I provided in a video that was uploaded almost 2 years ago. Probably more than that. And so what I wanted to do was I wanted to tell the story of surrounding the events of when this recording was captured, along with telling how I found it, how I felt when I found it, and also its legitimacy. So without further ado, let's get into the story of this damn thing. So it was February of 2014, and it was the investigation on this channel that is called Intensity. This specific investigation was called Intensity because, as the name says, the entire night was just intense and full of insane activity and things that just didn't make sense, especially to a couple teenage ghost hunters. So at the time, me and Matthew were using very poor quality handheld cameras, which is my guess as to why no one wants to watch more than maybe 5 minutes of that thing. But the most miraculous thing we captured didn't happen until we left the building. At some point, we had left because we were mentally overwhelmed. Being in the building that night in the 7900 house was heavy, and it was grueling. And so what we ended up doing was we took a break about halfway through, and we ended up leaving a digital recorder running in the kitchen. And we walked away. It was a good 27-minute recording. And about 19 minutes in, we start hearing some voices, and it was very bizarre. As a third party, I wasn't in the house, and the way the lay of the land worked, I'll show you here. You can see it's like a giant lot with 2 or 3 houses on it. And my family actually owned all the houses. I actually went across the lot to this house. This is my grandmother's house. And this is where we stayed for a little bit. And we didn't stray from the outside too much. We kept looking, and no one was around the house. No one got even close to it. No one even walked by it. The only thing you hear occasionally is the light rail moving past. So the time goes on, you hear me and Matthew enter the house one more time, and then we stop the recording and go about our business. We didn't think to check. We didn't think we caught anything. We were so mentally distraught about what was happening to us that night that we actually decided that let's just deal with all the evidence when it's all done, and we can listen later on. It was almost a year afterwards that this investigation had happened when I decided I'm gonna go ahead and check these files, because I've never actually looked at them, and for all I know, there's a gold mine. It was a wild mess. There was not much organization to it. But then I find this file. It's a WAV file from my digital recorder, and it is about 27 minutes long, and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, this looks annoying. I don't want to deal with this. And so I play it, and this is in my bedroom, as I'm doing evidence review for the first time in over a year. And it's going, and I hear me and Matthew leave, and there's nothing but silence, and I hear the light rail pass a couple times, and then all of a sudden I hear a man start to say something. And I'm listening to it, and I'm not letting it play for more than 2 seconds. But the more I play it, I'm like, this is incredible. This alone is an amazing EVP, because no one is in the house. Nothing's touching the digital recorder. Nothing is even within the vicinity of it for it to be as loud as it was, given, like, you can tell it was close. You can tell it was within the walls of the house, which was very interesting, because no one was in there. We had all left. Time goes on, and I pull my mom downstairs, and I'm like, hey, come listen to this. And remember, this is just the first part where you can kind of barely hear the male's voice. And my mom's like, keep letting that play, there's more. And I'm like, no, I don't think there's more, but okay. And we keep playing. And then we hear a woman's voice. And so we're just hearing the first instance of this male and this woman. And then I get curious, and I'm like, maybe I should let this keep playing. And then I did, and it was 33 seconds long. My mom threw her headphones when she heard the woman scream, I know. There's no denying what that says. There's no denying that there was no one in the house. There was no denying that there was no possible way that this could have been, manipulated. It was the most insane thing I ever caught. And so I'm thinking, maybe I got the wrong night. Maybe it's a night where I have a TV recording going on in the background. But then I remember at the very beginning, you hear a very distinct door. The front door, you can't mistake it. That was the front door of the 7900 house. And so I kept listening to it because I was in awe that this amazing piece of evidence had been captured. And I, in Movie Maker, just decided I'm going to make a video. Here it is. I'll replay it a couple times. Boom, there's that. I'm done with it. But it's really doing a disservice, because this thing is the creepiest thing I have ever found in my entire life. I have had rosaries ripped off of my neck. I have seen a fork fly in front of me. I have captured insane shadow figures, which is funny because all these things that I'm stating all happened in that house. It is so bizarre, but nothing has ever made me feel as uncomfortable as listening to that. To this day, when I listen to this, I get chills. And it was captured in a house that I grew up in. That's what blows my mind. There was obviously a lot of energy in the house that night. A lot of things happened. And to the point where I know it may seem we're investigating at night, but legitimately speaking, it was February, and it was, I don't know, I think it was like 9 o'clock at night when we went home, or 10 o'clock at night when we went home. It was very strange. The entire night was extremely uncomfortable. You didn't feel welcomed in that house. But that was just the nature of the house. You never felt welcome there. But in this one instance, when we left it alone, I will tell this, I think this is the first time I'm ever showing this EVP. There was another time where it was myself, Matthew, and Mark in the house. It was Mark's first investigation with us. And we all go in to the house, and same situation, we investigate for a bit, and then we leave. I went to all the way by my grandma's house, where my car was parked. And we let a camera roll. And you can hear a voice say, I can still hear you. And it is unbelievably loud. It is one of the clearest EVPs I've ever captured. But it was in the same spot that we left the digital recorder. Listen.
I can still hear
mind-blowing. That one part of the house had such an unbelievable energy to it. That was also the part where I taken a photo right before we left, and you can see what looks like a mist on the door. That one's still debatable because it could be just light bouncing off the door. However, it draws a striking resemblance to the first real apparition we had caught in that house, which is why, to me, it's up in the air. That house had a special energy to it, special in the worst way. It was very unwelcoming and it was very uncomfortable, and a lot of this stuff I do not like reviewing the evidence because it brings me back to the moment of investigation. There are parts of investigation that people don't ever talk about as ghost hunters. They don't talk about how uncomfortable it can really get sometimes and how you want to just take yourself out of a situation. So that is the story of the most insane piece of evidence we had ever captured. The energy in that house was always so tense and always so unwelcoming. I wanted to personally tell this story because, one, we don't have a video up, and it's almost been a year, and I wanted to bring light to a very special piece of evidence that I feel has gone overlooked, even though in reality it's the most insane thing we've ever captured. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate y'all for sticking around, for those of you who did. And just like me, I hope you all keep searching.